Welcome and thanks so much for joining us for this week's edition of Just Ask Freeman. I'm Rebecca Powers here with Freeman Owen Jr., of course, CEO and founder of Financial Sources, Inc., helping thousands of families live their retirement dream. That is your passion. It's always so good to see you.
Exactly. Good to see you, and I appreciate your support. We're getting responses. Folks are coming. Oh, let me tell you the reason why, I think. I'm going to look in the camera. Viewing audience, I want to tell you this, the new clients that are coming, the clients that have been with me 35, 40 years, where we have great persistency, they understood this, and I made it clear. I followed the best interest rule, which is a fiduciary responsibility to look out for the betterment of the client, their best interest, not
That's
mine.
Right.
Not inundating them with fees and commissions. And the clientele know that I work for your best interest, not mine, yours. And we built this trust. I appreciate the trust for my existing clients and the trust that I will build in a relationship with the new clients. Now, how does that all come about? Just ask Freeman to take care of your needs. Call us at 833-414-7233, and you'll have an advisor here that takes care of you. And I want to emphasize, I follow the best interest rule. It's very, very important. And since I'm dealing with retirees and those who are preparing for retirement, been around for a while, they can tell whether or not Freeman Owen Jr. is taking care of us. And they're very comfortable and have built trustworthiness over the decades.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that, and I appreciate my existing clients, and I'm looking forward to new clients. And when you come in that office, relaxed atmosphere, you'll see me on this show. You'll sit there when you come into the office, and we'll sit down and talk and discuss your particular retirement needs. You know that I'm looking out for your best interest. They can feel it. Rebecca.
I was literally going to just say that. You can feel it, how much you care, because the best interest rule is far greater than just suitability, and that's
Exactly.
what the law requires financial planners to do. So it's all about trust, and so much of your business is referrals. That means your current clients tell their sisters and their friends and their cousins. I know that's the biggest compliment to you.
Yes, it is.
How do you think so many of us Americans get into retirement and do run out of money because they haven't been, a lot of us work with big boxes that were treated just like a number. When you have that personal relationship, you delve into ways to protect the money. You've already played the game. You've already won. Don't keep throwing Hail Marys. Like, sit out. Talk about the ways you preserve and protect their money so they don't have to worry about running out of it.
Well, I mentioned just a couple of safe money products. I stay in my lane. I don't offer any type of investment, tax, or legal advice. What I do is provide safe money products that guarantees income, offset inflation, even help the client with the withdrawal rate. I mentioned the 4% rule in one of our segments. When you start taking or withdrawing money from tax-qualified plans or after-tax monies, you need to know the withdrawal rate so that you don't underspend or you don't overspend. And I do advocate enjoying yourself and give you the help you with a vision of what am I going to do once I retire? What role will I play in the community? How this, and you may be thinking, how can Freeman help me such that I have a good withdrawal rate, I don't run out of money, I have a legacy to pass on to my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, even non-spouses. You have the legislation put before you to know how to have that legacy passed on and be aware of the fact that, hey, my kids have to draw down this money that I leave them in 10 years. What's the consequences? Just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233. If those funds are not down, have been spent down to or taken out of that legacy in 10 years.
Yeah, you don't want to leave a ticking tax time bomb for this child or whoever you love and you passed it down, and then without knowing, they end up giving most of it back to Uncle Sam, right?
Exactly, that's right. That safe withdrawal rate I mentioned, and also let me put this little piece in. Let's say we talked about the 4% rule. What if inflation increases 3% the following year?
Right.
You've got to take the 4%, and also there's a factor, which I will provide for you, to know the amount of income to take the second year through withdrawal, third, 10th year, 20th year, 25th year. So we always will be able to outpace inflation. We can evaluate allocation of our strategies with the fixed products that I have. Very, very important to have an emergency fund. These little items here that I'm providing to you, audience, is this way, Rebecca. Unexpected expenses. You should have 3 to 6 months of income there. You're going to have unexpected expenses.
Where do you think we should keep that?
Oh, you
Just
can
in
put
the bank?
In the bank.
Okay.
Credit union.
Not under my mattress.
No, don't bury it in the backyard. We don't need that. That sounds funny, but some folks used to do that.
Yeah, in tin cans until the cans rusted and their money was ruined. But for that 3 to 6 months of liquid money, it's okay to keep it in the bank.
Exactly.
But as far as investments, they're much better vehicles.
Yeah, they're much better vehicles to have your money grow.
Okay.
Just like I mentioned a fact, I say, well, if you have $250K, 500,000 sitting in employer-sponsored retirement account. You hear that word, employer-sponsored retirement account, where the employer has rules and regulations on the distribution of those tax-qualified plans, like the 401K, the TSP, the 403Bs. These are employer-sponsored retirement accounts. And the interesting thing is that you're not provided with too much financial literacy at all.
That's
on
right.
Withdrawal rates, lifetime income, assets passed on to our loved ones. Well, put your money right in there, Rebecca.
Right. You say, oh, okay.
What did I do?
Yeah. And the truth is, so many of us feel kind of like embarrassed or dumb, like, oh, I'm embarrassed to ask because I don't know that. And I think that's been a big part of why people procrastinate. But there's no time like the present to look at what's going on in your financial life. Do you have enough to retire? When is the best time to retire? Let Freeman laser focus on you and what's going on in your life. There's the number, 833-414-7233. Our promise is you will never be sold anything. You will never be pushed to do anything. It is a complimentary. That means absolutely free. No obligation first appointment. There's also the QR code. And stay with us. More with Just Ask Freeman in just a minute.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Just Ask Freeman. We're talking specifically about you and your retirement dreams and your retirement plan. So the first piece of homework is figure out, close your eyes, take a magic wand. What would your perfect retirement look like? And then we got to get in with Freeman so he can kind of reverse engineer that. We're talking about when to retire. So many questions and fan mail that come in for you are like, I'm not sure when. So we're really focusing on that today. You told me on break that you can continue working, work part-time, and still get Medicare at 65.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could do that.
Well, if you do not apply for your Medicare at age 65, that is called Medicare Part A. It's basically a hospital stay, and it's no cost to you.
Yeah.
Now, you will be concerned about your Medicare Part B, which is part of the Social Security health care, all right? Now, Medicare, you can work and receive Medicare because we know that one of the biggest inflation bombs is healthcare costs.
Right.
It has risen 20% over the last 30 years or so. It keeps going up. And folks say things to me like, Freeman, when can I file for my Medicare? Will Medicare help my health cost as I prepare for retirement? Yes, it does. But if you make the mistake and have not taken Medicare Part A, you could be penalized for life. The fees
Holy
can
moly.
be, yes.
So you don't just miss out, you actually get penalized.
You get penalized, yes, indeedy. You can work, as you mentioned. Can I work and receive Medicare payments? Yes, you can. If you're 65 still working, don't forget Medicare Part A. Now,
Okay.
now we're ready for Social Security. I just want to hit this little portion here.
Yeah, it's important.
Suppose you retire early, 55. Check with your employer to see if your health insurance is portable. If it's not, you're going to have to purchase some type of health care, either Medicare Advantage, which covers hospital stay. Medicare Advantages can be a little expensive there with the B, C, and D. Let me define it. B will take care of doctor visits, but you may have to deal with a copay and other fees. Your C and D covers prescription drugs and other healthcare costs. The other way, when I mention the fact, is the health insurance portable? Can you bring your health coverage with you? Not getting group rates now, you have your own individual rates. Now, suppose you're eligible for Social Security. How does the healthcare cost play in the, healthcare, how is it offset with your Social Security? Let's talk about that just briefly.
Okay.
There's Medicare Part B, which can start, or if you decide to separate from service, you bring your health coverage with you. Suppose you have a provider, and what happens is that it's portable. Your Medicare Part, here's your primary. Your Medicare Part B from your Social Security becomes your primary coverage, no copay. A and B takes care of 80% of the healthcare costs. But what about the other 20? Your primary becomes the secondary insurance to take care of the other 20%. In addition to that, you probably will need Part D, which is prescription drug provider, to offset some of the cost of prescription drugs. So that's sort of a breakdown of how Medicare can be utilized for your health coverage, even though healthcare costs is increasing, but we can avoid costly mistakes in starting our Medicare. We can avoid costly mistakes when it comes to our Social Security benefits and the role it plays in healthcare, and also supplementing our income-producing assets. Folks, if you want to know more, schedule a no-cost obligation consultation. Call us at 414-7233. Just ask Freeman. And we'll sit down and design for you a tax-efficient plan. You know the role of your health insurance. You'll also know how to deal with your income-producing assets. Have a piece of that that gives you guaranteed, inflation-adjusted, fixed index annuity that also will have your critical care. Call us at 833-414-7233. Just ask Freeman.
Yeah, and our compliance department told me that I can also say that my husband and I took all of my money when I retired from a TV station and put it into a fixed indexed annuity. That's just me because I didn't want to risk. I didn't want to gamble. It's amazing how when the stock market goes down, you lose zero of your principal. Mm-hmm. And when it goes up, you get some of the gains, not all of it. That's what I'm sacrificing.
Exactly.
But for me, it's peace of mind. So many of your clients, I bet, say to you, they don't want a ton of money. I'm not greedy. I just want to not worry about losing what I've earned.
Exactly. And what I do is don't take all, unless they want me to roll over some of all their funds from an employer-sponsored retirement account.
But you take some of it.
I take some of it. But most of the time they say, well, Freeman, this removes me from market risk. I have other investments that have some market risk, which they're from that vehicle, there's growth.
Sure.
But they've got an inflation-adjusted annuity that outpaces inflation. They also have a supplement to Social Security and their Medicare. So that, and I see them. I have annual reviews. And now that I've been doing this for about 20 some odd years, have the annual reviews. Their adult children now is even more critical.
Yeah.
If they're expecting a legacy from parents or grandparents, that they attend the annual review, because we go over the portfolio.
And they learn a lot.
And they learn a tremendous amount of financial literacy. And folks, if you will, you like to have an advisor, excuse me, that meets with you, accepts your phone calls.
Yeah.
Take care. For example,
because that doesn't always happen.
It doesn't happen. The lady, I helped her with her TSP, and she had an investment with a brokerage firm. Uh-huh. And she says, I haven't seen this guy, man, in 15 years. Mm-hmm. He left her hanging out there.
But now, still getting commissions on what he was investing.
He's still getting fees for what he's invested, but there was no caring enough to tell her that the economic climate changes from time to time, and you've got to be there to modify those changes or to inform, like I inform my clients. I say, look, are you familiar with the Secure Act? They were not. I said, now we're going to adjust the beneficiaries. We're going to come up with some other strategies here to keep some money safe in order for your loved ones to receive a legacy and either eliminate or modify, or minimize the taxes on that distribution coming that you've left for your loved one.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a very short break, give you this opportunity to make the phone call. Please have your calendar ready so we can get you a date immediately. And as Freeman has said, this is no cost, no obligation. It really isn't. Not sure how to say it any more clearly, because we want everyone to get the opportunity. You may not be the right fit for him. He may not be the right fit for you. But that first appointment really is a wonderful gift that he's offering today. All right, we'll be right back. More with Just Ask Freeman in just 1 minute.
Retirement planning can be stressful. We pride ourselves on being different from other financial planning firms. And during your initial meeting, we will get to know you and you will get to know us. We want to learn all about your vision for retirement, and together we'll design a plan to achieve your long-term financial goals. Our friendly staff will make you feel comfortable. The moment you walk in that door, call us today for your complimentary review. You deserve the retirement of your dreams. Just ask Freeman. Call us at 1-833-414-7233.
Welcome Welcome back to Just Ask Freeman, learning so much about retirement. There are all these time bombs that we want to kind of avoid and so many nuggets of information that can help you, and that's what this show is all about. We were talking before about Medicare. You could still work, but at age 65, turn it on.
Yeah.
But don't listen to your neighbor who says, get your Social Security as soon as you can, because that could be a big mistake. We learned that as well. You mentioned beneficiaries.
Yeah.
Beneficiaries can change. And if you
Yes.
don't do the annual report like you do,
Yes.
but a lot of the big boxes don't do annual reports, it could all go to your ex-wife or whoever.
It can, because I mentioned this in workshops and also on television. Let's say you're divorced, but you want to make sure that legacy goes to your children. That's sort of like etched in stone. Now you're divorced, and the ex-wife says, boy, I can get 50% of his pension,
Right.
or 50% of the assets that he may have that are invested. Well, I know with a fixed index annuity or life insurance, that index universal life is designated your child or your grandchildren, any loved one,
Whoever you write on the dotted line.
on the dotted line, beneficiary, those funds go directly to that person or entity.
And that's why you
corporation.
love those products.
I like that, yes.
And you're an independent, so I want to explain when he says these products, he means all insurance companies in the entire country and beyond. And now has never been a better time. Since 2022's decline in the market, the fixed index annuity market has sold $300 billion of these products for safety. So when people say, oh, the rich get richer because no, we all have the same rules. We all have the same capabilities. It's just that those who know and those who don't know.
Exactly. And something else, too. Folks will say things like, not my clients, but someone has told them,
Yeah.
you can't get your money out of an annuity.
Right.
You're stuck. Not true. There's penalty-free withdrawals. I've mentioned over and over again for decades, we're setting aside your IRAs with these rollovers, and you do not use your tax-qualified monies as an ATM machine. Freeman, I need $75 I got to pay the utilities. I'm taking $2,000 because it's something else too. Our children need a security deposit on their apartment. Let me tell you something about this.
Don't do it. Make them fend for themselves now.
Mom, dad, grandmom, granddad. You're not the bank of mom and dad, and you're not the bank of grandmom and granddaddy. That's why, ask any of my clients. One of the first things when we're doing, I'm taking down information concerning the family unit. I ask, are your children dependent? See, these are beneficiaries, codependent, or totally independent. And one man came in and I helped him. He says, all of the above. I said, well, all right.
Depends on the kid and the time.
So when it comes to your life, you have worked so hard to put monies into these employer-sponsored retirement accounts. The consideration now, you're looking at, will this be enough money that lasts? You must place those funds into a position, which I'll help you with. Just ask Freeman. Call me at 833-414-7233. In a position for distribution such that you never run out, and then you have to have the financial literacy and knowledge to pass those assets on to your children and grandchildren. And I mentioned that you're not the bank of mom and the bank of dad, not the bank of granddaddy and grandmom. If you do that, you deplete your assets. Now, I'm going to share this true story.
Yeah. Such good advice.
Yeah. I am a sophomore in college, and in mathematics, that was my major, and then, of course, I took this very economics course. The professor says to us, students, you know, you're going to retire one day. Now, I'm 19 years old. I'm not talking about no retirement. You know, I'm having a good time. You know, here I am away from home having a nice time. But here's how it resonated in my head decades ago. He says, you have to be careful because your children or grandchildren can possibly drain your assets.
Yeah.
And when they deplete your assets, you will not have enough money in order to retire comfortably. That brings it down to the fact that I ask clients, are your children dependent, codependent, or independent? Now I add the adage, well, you worked hard for 35 to 40 years to put these funds into the employer-sponsored retirement account because if you're lucky, you might have a pension. Since there's only 7.5% of the industries in the U.S. now offer a pension.
Wow.
You're on your own since 1974 with the advent of the 401k. So, and I emphasize, you're not the bank of mom, and you're not the bank of dad, or bank of granddaddy, or bank of grandmom. You have to hold on to your assets. Your children live longer than you, and you provided the opportunities for them. Make sure that it's all about you, and you want to pass a legacy on, but you do not want to have a drainage or depletion of your assets along the way, all the way down to an uncomfortable level where the money's run out.
And then there's nothing to leave to them.
That's it.
If you don't handle your money correctly. All right, we're already out of time today. I want to give you the number one more time, 833-414-7233. You can always use that QR code. Remember, when you call, you can get your calendar ready, get an appointment, and meet the amazing folks at Financial Sources, Inc. And if you have any questions about your retirement, when should you retire? When should you take your Social Security? It is just an amazing wealth of information when you meet Freeman Owen Jr. Thank you so much, sir, for everything. We always learn something. And if you have any questions, just ask Freeman.
Just ask Freeman right here.